What's going on, guys? So today I was actually gonna start doing everything to pull the motor out of the Subaru, but I was driving, taking my son back to his mother yesterday in the Lightning, and I noticed it seemed to be running a little hot. So this morning I got out here and wanted to test the intercooler pump. Tried to jumper it off, wasn't running. So I pulled it up into the shop, play with, jiggled the connector, and it started working. So I'm not sure if the connector's bad or if the pump's going out. So since the Cobra's out today, or out for a little bit until I get an intercooler, I'm gonna rob Peter to pay Paul and get the intercooler pump off of the Cobra to test it on the Lightning. But so to show you what some of, it's kind of common knowledge, but I don't know that there's actually been a video on it. So to jumper the intercooler pump on the Lightning, it's this relay right here, and you have to take and connect these to the top, the closest two connections to the engine. So I'm gonna jumper it real quick. And see, it's not running. But if I go under here, crawl up under the car or the truck, and I don't know if this is gonna be bright enough, but if I jiggle the connector, it runs, and I could jiggle it a certain way to where it runs better. So see, it's not running right. If I take it all the way off there, but with vibration it will eventually work its way loose. So what I'm gonna do is, let me first unplug that so it doesn't drain the battery. Get the one off the Cobra, see if plugging it into the car or into the truck makes it run better. If it does, I will go ahead and just drain the coolant or the intercooler fluid on the Lightning and mount that intercooler pump in here and get another one on the way for the Cobra. If that is the case, I'll probably go ahead and, like I mentioned in an earlier video, get the ZZP pump, because it's stock location and it's pretty much the same cost as the stock replacement. Be a good test. People don't want to spend, don't have the money to spend the $300-400 on a 13-14 GT500 pump, or other upgrades. Might be a good option. I don't see a reason to ever buy a stock replacement if you don't have to. I've done it twice before on the Cobra. So anyway, I'm gonna start by getting the car up in the air, getting the intercooler pump out of here, since the intercooler fluid's already drained pretty much out of this thing. Shouldn't be much left. And I'll probably put this on a quick time lapse just to show y'all. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is get this splash shield out of the way. It's just 3 snap clips, one here, and one right there. Next, I'm going to pull the fender liner out of the way. I'm going to get this Phillips head and this one, this pop clip off, and I'll be right back. Okay, so fender liners out of the way. I'm gonna go ahead and pull these intercooler hoses out because I think I'm gonna reroute them anyway while this thing's down. But to get the intercooler pump out, it's a hose worm clamps for the inlet and the outlet, or I'm sorry, the inlet and the outlet. The connector is in the back, and there's one bolt to loosen the bracket, and I'll just slide it out. The brackets aren't quite the same between the two, the pumps are. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and be right back. It's kind of dark in right here, so you won't be able to see much anyway. Okay, so intercooler pump is out. Like I said, there's that connector on the back there. I'll show y'all real quick. So connector's back here, and there's that 10mm bolt. Just loosen it a little bit, and the pump slides right out. All right, so next, what I'm gonna do is take this pump and jumper it. Actually, let me backtrack. So let's okay, so the pump here is working again, but I feel like the connection's pretty weak. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show you this. Okay. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is disconnect this one and connect it in here. Okay, so I can wiggle this one all day long and it doesn't really phase the pump speed. So that tells me that this one's on its way out. Alright. So what I'm gonna do now is just to free up the jack, since the STI is using my jack stands, is I'm gonna get the wheel liner back in, hanging in there real quick, get the wheel back on, get the Cobra back on the ground. That way I can jack up the Lightning and drain the intercooler fluid so I can put that pump in. Be right back. Okay, so Cobra's back on the ground. Got the Lightning jacked up on this side. So what I'm gonna do now is try to show. So the drain valve for the heat exchanger is right there. Try to get this in the frame. I may need to switch to where I can get to it. Oh yeah, much better. Now, speed up that process a little and let that drain out for a minute, and once it's pretty well to the point where it's done draining, I'll go ahead and start back up. Okay, so it's pretty well done draining. So I'm gonna go ahead and close the drain valve. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. There we go. Okay. All right, now get it back because I got coolant on my hand. So not a lot came out, so that tells me that I'm gonna have some more when I go to disconnect the lines from the intercooler pump. All right, so on mine, got a Cobra clamp on the inlet and a 8mm worm clamp on the outlet. So I'm gonna loosen this worm clamp. Get a little bit more. Get that out the way. This Cobra clamp. Man, this joker's on there. Let me get a different pair of pliers and be right back. Okay, I got the clamps off. Drain the inlet. Get the outlet. Okay, so not a lot of coolant left in the pump. Try and wiggle that out. Okay, get that up. Slide this out the way. Now, to get the pump out of the lightning, I've already got the connector disconnected from earlier. This one has two 8mm bolts, but they're on the top, so you got to go from the top. I already checked this. My short 1/4-inch ratchet with the 8mm short socket fits, so I'm just gonna loosen them up. I'll have to take them all the way out. This might be the factory pump, so who knows. Get the one out of the Cobra. Okay. About as far as it's going to go. I'll tighten the two bolts down. Get the connector, and she's still jumpered, so I'll leave that off. That way I can hopefully prime the pump. Now, the feed what I'm gonna do is the next step is priming the pump. So what I'm gonna do is take water initially, not to make as big of a mess. Fill the tank with water. And I found, well, I'll show you in a minute, but actually, hang on, I'll be right back. Okay, so this is a handy little no spill coolant fill thing. I got it from AutoZone. So what I do to prime the pump is I'm just using water for initially, but let me show you. So I've got the inlet connected. As you can see, it's coming out the outlet right now. So let me go ahead and disconnect that real quick. I'm gonna get the outlet connected. Got it filling for right now. Got some coolant I'll add to it. And once so now, with this out of the way, I'm going to put the clamps back on real quick. It's all connected up now. And I'm just going to okay, so I can take this out now. Oop. Get that gasket. Let's set that down for now. Get that out the way. Let me pull this out. So it looks like it's within range, so I'm going to lower the truck down, get it level. Let it run for a few minutes. Then I'll stop it just to check the level, but it looks pretty good. So let me let it run for a few minutes and I'll be back. Okay, so I've been running it for a while. As you can see, it's pumping pretty good. Right in the range while it's running. I'll check it once I turn it off. But what I wanted to show was before, if I barely touched this thing, it would change or almost stall the pump out. Now I'm wiggling the hell out of it and it ain't doing nothing. It's not changing. So I think it's safe to say that the pump was going bad, so I will be ordering another pump for the Cobra. That pump I put in the Cobra about 1.5 years ago, so it's not really that old, and the Cobra really hasn't been driven much in that time frame. So I mean, it might have 1,000 miles on it, maybe. So anyway, that'll probably be it for today, except let me go ahead and let that settle. And yeah, so we're right there, full. Don't forget to put the relay back in right there. Close that up, and another project pretty much finished. Take care, y'all.